Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa, for those of you who don't know, and for today's video we're going to be doing a wear test. I have not done a wear test in so freaking long. I am so excited to go ahead and do one because I'm very excited about this foundation. So I feel like everybody and their mother has been on the Charlotte Tilbury train, and y'all already know I already loved a few of her products, so I had to go ahead and test out her new foundation. So this foundation is the Charlotte's Beautiful Skin Foundation for your best healthy looking skin every day. And this foundation has a ton of claims, which I'm not exactly sure how they come up with the math, but it says it's supposed to make your skin look more radiant by up to 285%. They say that it boosts hydration up to 166%, skin looks plumper and smoother by 181%, and skin tone looks more even by 210%, and over 90% of users agree. If you guys do not know, I do have acne prone skin. I have pores that you could see. I am pretty oily. I do have some drier spots which tend to be under my eyes or just like little patches on my face. You guys can see I do have some scarring that I need to cover up, so hopefully this foundation does that. It is supposed to be a radiant finish, but I've seen that people with oily skin like this foundation, so I'm very excited to see how this is going to wear. So if you guys are excited and you guys like wear tests, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe before you go if you do like what you see. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Go back and stick to the basics with my Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base. I'm kind of leaning towards this because it doesn't leave my skin really dewy. Alright, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use this because I feel like it is the most neutral out of my favorite primer. So I'm going to first prime my face. I always do this no matter what foundation. This is the Tower 28 Daily Rescue Facial Spray. I love a primer water. I feel like it melts the foundation into my skin a little bit better. Gonna let that dry for a sec. Okay, quickly did my brows as that was settling into my skin. So I'm gonna go in with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base for a face primer. You guys can see I love this a lot. Alright, so that's out of my face for a little bit. Now we're going to go in with the foundation. I have mine in the shade 3 Neutral. Honestly, I feel like I don't know if it's going to be a good match. It kind of looks a little dark in the tube, but I've seen people swatch this and I feel like it looks like it should match me, so we're going to see. So I have a beauty sponge, which is usually my preferred method of applying any foundation, and then I also have the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Skin brush. So I'm going to see which one works a little bit better for this. Typically I do like sponges better, but we're going to see. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see everything up close. So I'm going to squirt. That is about a pump. I feel like it's going to be an okay match. We're going to see. So it does feel a little bit runny, but I'm going to take that and put it on this side of my face. Typically for foundations I do about a pump and a half, but let's see. Okay, so it's blending out really nicely with my sponge. It covered up that red mark that I had pretty nicely. I feel like it's giving pretty decent coverage. Like my skin looks pretty blurred out. It blended really nicely. The match I feel like is perfect, and my skin just looks really healthy. Like, it does have a little bit of a shine, like a healthy glow, but it looks like my skin. So you guys could see without the foundation, with the foundation, my skin does look like there is a little bit of that blurredness going on. It looks really pretty. So it's not 100% full coverage, as we already know, but it does a really good job at covering. Like, even the redness, you could still see it, but it's not as intense as it was before. It looks like my skin, it just looks better, if that makes any sense. We're gonna go ahead and do another pump, and I'm going to apply this on this side of my face, and we are going to use a brush. I'm also very curious to see if this is a buildable foundation, but so far my skin looks so healthy. Okay, so I'm blending in stippling motions, which is typically what I do. I wonder if I'll get a little bit more coverage on this side. I do have more scarring on this side. Okay, so I feel like with a brush, I got a tiny bit more coverage. Only reason I'm saying that is because the marks that I have right here look a little bit more covered than this one, which is right on my chin. Not by like a whole lot. I feel like you could go either way with a brush or with a sponge. I'm kind of leaning towards the sponge a little more. I'm going to do like half of a pump and see if I can build it up just a little bit more where I need a little bit more coverage. So right now this is about 2.5 pumps just to see if I could cover up my acne marks. But like my forehead looks really nice. I don't have any scarring on my forehead. My forehead looks really nice. Sometimes with foundations it can look a little funky in between of my eyebrows, and I feel like it looks pretty good. It covered up my glasses line that I always get right over here. I feel like my skin looks beautiful. Just that second layer of the foundation right where I am breaking out, you literally can't even see that I have any scarring there anymore. It looks so beautiful. It does not feel heavy on my skin. I feel like this is definitely a medium coverage foundation, but it did an excellent job at covering up my acne marks and my scars. Anything funky that I had going on, it looked really, really nice. Before I forget, I'm going to do a check-in. It is 11:44, so let's just say 11:45 for time's sake preferences is when I applied this foundation. So I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup, be right back, and then tell you guys my first impressions. Okay guys, I finished the rest of my makeup, kind of really natural as of right now. But anyways, I will leave everything in the description box down below about what I used. But one thing that I did want to say is I did set my face only because I have oily skin. I have to set my face. So I just used the One Size powder. I actually really like this. Next thing I'm going to do, which I wanted to do on camera, is just use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Setting Spray. I use this all the time. You guys know I've put this in my favorites video, my yearly favorites, my recommendations, like all the videos. This is always in it. So did I have something in my teeth this whole entire time? And nobody told me I had something in my teeth this whole entire time. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. I hope this video is good. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to set my face with this. This just really locks in your makeup, and I feel like this is just such a natural part of my routine that I can't not use this. So we're just going to spray and let this dry for a little bit. Okay guys, so I have some thoughts on this foundation, and so far not one negative thing to say. I feel like my skin looks so good. My skin looks like skin. It's just better. It looks like there's a filter on my face. It covered up my acne marks. I did use about 2.5 pumps. I do feel like I like the coverage with a brush like a wee bit better. Again, I feel like I was able to get a little bit more coverage, but if you're a sponge girl or guy and you like using a sponge, I would definitely still use it. I feel like I would probably still use the 2.5 pumps. Maybe if I used a brush, I would probably just stick to 2 pumps. But overall, my skin looks so good, so healthy. I feel like even though I did powder my face and even though I did use the setting spray, there's still that glow from within, which makes my skin look really, really healthy and natural and just really, really beautiful. So looking up close, I feel like my pores look really good as well. They are not accentuated. The rest of my makeup applied beautifully. I'm gonna see if I can zoom you guys in a little bit more. I feel like my skin, like you could see there is like still some texture. I mean, texture is never gonna go away, but it doesn't look cakey on my face at all. The blush, the bronzer blended really, really nicely. It blended well with my concealer as well. It's not sticking to any dry patches. I had like a dry patch right over here and it's not sticking to it. It does not feel sticky or heavy on my face at all. It covered up the redness, the acne marks that I had going on. My skin just looks really, really healthy right now. So I really like it. So I'm going to wear this foundation for the rest of the day. It is currently 11:59. So let's say 12 o'clock. I applied it at 11:45, and it's looking really, really good. So I'm going to continue on my day. I'm going to see how this wears throughout the day. I will be back in a few hours to show you guys my second impression of this foundation. But so far, 2 thumbs up. I feel like it looks really, really beautiful on the skin. So I will be right back for you guys in just a second, and for me, a few hours. Hey guys, I am back and it is currently 3:53. So I've had this foundation on since 11:45, so it has been about 4 and some hours, about like 4 hours, 15 minutes, whatever. Math is not my expertise. I went out, I wore my mask, I had to run a few errands, and this is what my face is looking like right now. So first impressions, I feel like with wearing the mask, it did come off like a tiny bit on my nose. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you could see. Alright, so you could see like it kind of came off like a little bit off the tip of my nose. It typically does fade away on my chin area when I am wearing a mask, whether it's with skin tints or other foundations. And I feel like it really did not fade that much. Like I'm looking at coverage wise, at least this acne scar, it is pretty covered. Still, it is peeking through like a tiny bit more, so I did lose like a little bit of coverage. Nothing crazy though. Even over here you could see it's still pretty full coverage. Right now I am looking, I don't want to say dewy, but my skin is looking healthy. Like you guys could see, I do have some like shininess on my forehead, a little bit right on my cheek area, but I feel like it looks beautiful. Like I would not touch it up right now. I feel like right now my skin just looks really healthy, like that healthy, youthful, plump type of glow. It doesn't look cakey, oily, greasy, anything like that. My skin just looks really healthy. It did come off of my nose a little bit, but so far holding up pretty well. It's not really looking funky in between my brows either, which I was a little nervous that it would start looking a little bit like cakey right in between. It does not. It looks pretty good. Really the only thing that has changed is there's a little bit of it coming off with the mask, only on my nose the majority of the time, and then also on my chin. I also feel like I might have been rubbing my nose a little bit too. It is so cold in New Jersey. It's like below 20, so I feel like I was like this a lot, like because my nose is so cold. Even in the house I feel like my nose is freezing. So that's really the only thing that has changed. Everything else still looks beautiful. So I'm going to leave it on for about 4 more or so hours, probably do another check-in around 8 o'clock and give you guys my final impression. But so far, still 2 thumbs up. I feel like it looks beautiful. My skin looks amazing, and I am definitely a fan of this. So, yeah. So far, 2 thumbs up. It looks really, really beautiful. Hey guys, I am back and it is currently 9:02. So I've had this foundation on since about 11:45. It has been about 9 hours, 15 minutes. And this is what the foundation is looking like. So I feel like I definitely did get oily right on my forehead. Right now would probably be about where I either take a sheet and blot up my forehead, or I would take powder and apply powder on my forehead. I feel like everywhere else still looks pretty good. I do look a little shiny here, but I feel like this isn't as bad as my forehead. My forehead is a little bit shinier. So if you do have oily skin like myself, I would probably go ahead and use the Smashbox Oil and Shine Control Primer just to make sure that my forehead looks pretty good. But if you're somebody who likes that sort of glowiness, then I feel like this would be a really, really good foundation. Coverage wise, let me show you guys. First, don't mind my wine stained lips, but I feel like coverage wise it still looks pretty good. So you can see there is some foundation that did come off on my nose, and a little bit more came off on my chin, only because I feel like I was sitting like this. So it did come off. I don't notice any transfer on my sweater, but I do see some of the coverage missing on my chin. Everywhere else, the foundation pretty much stayed put. I'm surprised that it stayed put on my cheek area while wearing the mask. I feel like it is not sticking to any dry patches. It does not look cakey or clumpy on my skin either. I'm actually going to go ahead and take a blotting powder and kind of show you guys what my skin looks like. I have my little sheet right over here, and it's mostly on the forehead where I see a lot of the oil. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that, and you can see a lot of oil did come off compared to my cheek area and then my forehead. I feel like a majority of the oil was on my forehead, but once I did that, I feel like my skin looks really good. It could definitely hold up for a few more hours. So when I used to go in office, I used to apply my foundation at 7 o'clock, sometimes wouldn't take it off until 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I feel like having this much oil at around 9 hours actually isn't bad, especially for somebody who has oily skin, only because this is supposed to be a radiant foundation or a glowy foundation. So if you are oily, I would definitely recommend using a oil controlling primer just to keep your oils at bay. But again, I am somebody who I've kind of been gearing towards glowy primers. I probably would not use a glowy primer with this. I would either, again, use the Bobbi Brown one, which is just more of an enriched primer, or a pore smoothing primer, or if you really are oily, go ahead and use a oil control primer. But overall, it looks really, really pretty. I would definitely wear this. I really love this foundation. I feel like it looks really, really good on skin. After blotting, this could definitely stay on for another like few hours. It didn't separate. It doesn't look funky on the skin. I feel like this is a great match. And I still give it 2 thumbs up. I'm actually in love with this. I feel like I see where the hype is. My skin looks so like dewy, so hydrated, so beautiful. So I would definitely recommend this. If you have oily skin, I feel like you could definitely get away with wearing this. Again, just use an oil control primer. If you have dry skin, you're going to like this. It did not stick to any of my dry patches. And if you have normal skin, it is going to give you that radiant, healthy skin look. It does not feel heavy on the skin. It wears really nicely. There will be some transfer, but I feel like nowadays a lot of my foundations do transfer when wearing masks, specifically around the nose area. But I actually do enjoy this. I do love this. I will continue to use it. I feel like it just looks like my skin but better, so I'm definitely a huge fan. So I give this foundation 2 thumbs up. I'm still obsessed with this. I feel like this is a great purchase. Do not have any buyer's remorse, and again, I feel like this is beautiful. So again, this is the shade 3N. If you are interested, I'm going to leave the link down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more wear tests, please give this video a thumbs up and let me know what foundation you guys want to see next. Don't forget to subscribe before you go if you do like what you see, so you'll be part of the ATFB Fam. ATFB, all things fashion and beauty, and hit that post notification bell so you can get notified of all my future uploads. I usually do upload at least once a week. I'm trying, but I hope that you guys are well and that you guys are safe, and I will see you guys in a few days in my next video. Bye!